plaintiff, Carly Bebergal, was addicted to heroin for 5.5 years, and that's what she met the defendant. Carly claims once, while hanging out with the defendant, she overdosed, and the defendant saved her life. And she's now been clean for 16 months. However, Carly's suing the defendant today for unpaid loans. Defendant Corey Wendt says when he revived Carly after her overdose, it was extremely eye-opening for him. Corey claims after Carly overdosed, he worked on her for 7 minutes to bring her back to life. But unfortunately, he then relapsed a year ago after his twin passed away.
Start with you.
All right, first I just want to say I'm very grateful to be here today. Your story has really inspired me in the battles that I've faced in my life. I used to be addicted to heroin. I was addicted for over 5.5 years. During that time, I had moved out to Wisconsin. I had met Corey, became a really good friend. He was doing well in sobriety. We went to meetings together. Unfortunately, I wasn't really ready to get clean at the time, so I was involved in a lot of illegal activity, prescription fraud, different things. And I was still using. He had invited me to spend time with his family, and I had used behind his back at Christmas time. I overdosed, and he actually saved my life.
Ooh.
Yeah. I had no breath and no pulse for several minutes.
So, and how did he?
He did CPR.
CPR?
Mm-hmm.
Did that stop you? Nope.
Well, it scared me, so I went to treatment right after that.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I ended up getting arrested in treatment, but it probably ended up being for the best.
You didn't relapse after that?
I used it a few times after that.
Yeah.
So once I went to jail, it just gave me a lot of time to reflect and to just go over my life and to see that, I'd lost everything from my addiction. I had a government job. I dropped out of college. I lost my family. And so I was able to finally reflect and make a change, and I've almost been clean for 16 months now.
Good. Good. The upside of a good judge. Went to rehab in jail and changed your life.
That's right.
Then you saw another judge you thought inspired you to change your life, so you say, in me. On that note, I have a young lady in here today. She came before me when I was a judge at 36th District Court in Detroit, and she said I inspired her because I gave her, I guess, a second chance, if you will, and she went to the same undergrad university I attended, Eastern Michigan. She went to the same law school I attended, and she has passed the bar, and now she's a lawyer. Give her a hand. Say hi. All right. So tell me about yourself, sir. We're glad you were able to rescue her, and tell me about yourself.
Well, I had gone through my addiction phase when I was younger, and we met, and I invited her down to my family's place for Christmas, and I didn't know she was using at the time, and she died on Christmas Day, and I worked on her for about 7.5 minutes and brought her back, and it was eye-opening, and we were already friends, but to have somebody die on your mom's couch and then rip them over the couch and work on them and then miss Christmas dinner was even more eye-opening. So she decided she wanted to go to treatment, and I supported her through that, and she went to treatment, and in the interim, we had, done some talking and decided that maybe we were gonna try dating. So when she got kicked out of treatment and got thrown into jail, then not only was I, probably dating somebody who I should have gotten to know a little better, but I was dating a lesbian who was in jail. And
he tried to convert me, Your Honor.
You were already lesbian when he tried to begin dating you.
Yeah.
And he couldn't.
No.
Go ahead.
So needless to say, it didn't work out the greatest, but we tried. And so while she was in jail, she was in for, quite a stretch. And while she was in, my twin passed in a motorcycle accident, and that was last year. So I relapsed, and I found that the bottom of a bottle was a good place to begin my relapse and then end and continue. So I stayed at the bottom of a bottle, got hurt at work, and was on work comp, and decided I needed some money for rent. So I borrowed some money from Miss Bevergill.
Okay, and that's what we're here for, the
Yeah.
money. You're suing $550. Are you in recovery now?
Yes.
Sounds like you are. If you're going to admit like that, that's the first sign of recovery, is for those who are recovering from drug or alcohol addiction, is that they are honest. That's the first sign. I do owe money, or I did borrow money. That's the first sign. When they start out lying, they're not in recovery. Still doing either that, or they still have their dope fiend ways, crackish ways, alcoholic ways, heroin ways. If they really committed to recovery, that's one of the first things they teach you in recovery. Am I right or wrong? Is honesty and repairing the damage you've done, if you can, to others, right?
That's right.
All right, so let's see where he is on that step. Let's start with you about the loan.
All right, while I was incarcerated, Corey had kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit, as he mentioned. He was going through a lot of money troubles. He was about to lose his apartment, numerous other things. So I made a series of loans. We were good friends. I didn't think that he would ever not pay me back. And especially after what he had done for me, I was very grateful. So I made the series of loans, and I told him, you know, if you can't pay me back by the time I get out in September, then we'll figure out, you know, a promissory note or whatever. So he was able to make one payment of $300. However, he has not paid me anything else since. And we signed the promissory note stating he would give me about $100 per month, and he never did.
Did it happen like that?
It happened like that, but you know, when she got out of jail, I was in the midst of my relapse and going full force. And shortly thereafter, I ended up going to jail because I was on probation at the time due to some things that I had done previously for my drinking. You know, apparently when your probation officer says you're not allowed to drink and then you drink, she doesn't get happy with it. And she doesn't think it's funny that you were arrested in a toga. So all that being said, she wasn't happy. So I did 67 days in jail and got out wearing the same toga. And then I went back to, you know, my place and decided I probably shouldn't be here. So I made it with my landlord that I would move closer to my parents and you know, start back fresh. So by the time I got, you know, up to my parents, you know, trying to talk to Carly about, you know, my, you know, money problems, there had been quite a bit of time that had gone by where I couldn't make any payment to her, and she wasn't hearing it anymore. She'd already heard enough excuses, and
that's what you're hoping today? She might give you a little more time? Ma'am, is that what you don't
I think
want
that's
to give
what
him
he's
more
hoping,
time?
but, you
That's
know.
what he's hoping, but you can't give it, and I
Yeah.
can't grant it if she won't give it, sir. So I have to order you to pay now. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day, folks.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go home. And my guess is you're gonna go home, and hopefully, you know, you can give me a call and we can try to be friends and not ever try to date again.
I would like to be friends, for sure. I'm still grateful to him. And, you know, I know at the time that he was in active addiction, and that's where it came into play. So I forgive him.
All right. Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Plaintiff Renita Granberry dated the defendant, and they lived together. Renita claims she discovered the defendant was a crack dealer, and after he sold drugs to an undercover officer, Renita's house was raided. Renita's suing her ex-boyfriend for rent and daycare fees. Defendant Davon Hill says when he met Renita, he thought she was the woman of his dreams. However, Davon claims after they moved in together, he saw Renita's true colors and realized she had a bad temper. Davon refuses to pay rent because Renita kicked him out of their home.
Start with you.
I met the defendant, who goes by Dre, in 2011 while I was attending college. We've lived in 3 different states.
What do you mean by that?
We've lived, I met him in Virginia.
Moved to 3 different states.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So I met him in Virginia.
While
Virginia.
you were in college?
Yes, while I was
Did you finish?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yes, I met the defendant in 2011 in Virginia. We've lived in 3 different states. We've broken up, gotten back together over a course of a 4 or 5 year period.
Mm-hmm.
A major issue that happened in our relationship was in July of 2013. I found a bag of crack in my house, and I asked Dre about it. he admitted that he was selling drugs to make a little extra money.
He wasn't in college when you met him?
No, he was not. So, you know, I told him the severity of what he was doing because at the time I was in HUD housing. I had a 2-year-old.
Was he working?
Yes, he was working. He assured me it wouldn't happen again, and we kind of moved on from there. Over the course of a couple months, I didn't notice him, you know, leaving the house at odd hours, going in and out. I kind of assumed he was just cheating because we had that issue in the past. So yeah, I just assumed that he was cheating.
Cheating with the crackheads. Go ahead.
So in December of 2013, 2 days after my college graduation, my house was raided by the feds. They found no money or drugs. However, they did arrest Dre because he sold to an undercover cop.
Did you suffer any consequences?
Yes, Your Honor. I had to leave the housing that I was in. So yeah, I did suffer. Me and my son suffered.
It's a good lesson for all the other young ladies who are watching and think that they are benefiting from, and you weren't even benefiting that small time. If y'all still living in public housing and he's selling crack,
Your Honor.
maybe you're wrong. You have that wrong. Be accusing that young man of selling crack, and you all still have to live in public housing. That's not right, and the police were wrong. They framed him. Not a man gonna live in public housing and sell crack at the same time. Don't have any money, unless he had another place on the side. He had another?
No. He only had $50 when they took him to jail.
That wasn't crack, that was whack. I don't know what that was. So
If he was a real drug dealer,
young man,
he would have had the money to bail himself out.
that's why I know you're not ain't having money for bail?
His family came up with the money. I think it was $2 grand.
Stop telling. They framed you. They framed you, didn't they? You wasn't selling no crack.
They framed me. So yeah, they framed me.
Thank you. See there? Go ahead, finish up. So, you're embarrassing this man. He would be an embarrassment to the game.
I'm sorry.
So go ahead, what else?
Okay, so I'm gonna skip to May of 2014. We found out that we were pregnant. At this time, Dre was awaiting sentencing for the charge that he caught. Dre was sentenced to 6 months. I'm gonna skip to the day that my son was born, and that was February 28th, 2015. I had just had a C-section, laying in the bed, hurting. He was he's very healthy. He's a healthy baby boy. He's doing great.
Good. With a college-educated mom, income will be enough to be able to sustain as a single mother.
Absolutely.
You know, and I applaud those single mothers who have a potential for higher income because they have an education like you do. So congratulations, and you're a good example for other young ladies who are single mothers to go back to school, get their degree or get a skilled trade, and you'll be able to take care of that child while the man is out there selling dime bags. To the feds. Who sells dime bags to the feds? If you're gonna sell to the feds, man, sell some kilos. My goodness. Let me get some background from you. I'm sorry, I should let you speak now. What do you want to tell me?
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good.
Well, when I met Renita, I felt like she was the woman of my dreams. I kept pursuing her until she gave in. We ended up getting with each other. Like 3 months later, I ended up moving in. Then it seems like when we moved in, like everything went downhill. Like I really seen the real her, like as far as her attitude and her lashing out when we get in arguments, trying to scratch me. Like if I'm trying to walk out or walk into another room, she'll follow behind and push the door open and continue to argue with me. It was sometimes I would have to like either restrain her, like hold her, like from like trying to scratch me and hit on me or whatever.
You never hit her?
No, I never hit her. I will hold her like from hitting me, yeah, but I never hit her.
Okay. You go to school? Why didn't you go to college?
I was gonna go to school. It's just that when I graduated from high school, it was like I went took another road.
I know.
And,
Well, you met a woman who should have been inspired you.
Yeah, she
should have
did.
been a good example for you.
She inspired me. I just was being hard-headed.
Okay,
Like,
when
I
you
was
say
being
that,
hard-headed.
that's a good to be honest and say you was being hard-headed
And around the time when I was selling the drugs or whatever, it was like around
Come
Christmas
on, man,
time.
you weren't really doing that. You insult to the game. I told
Nah,
you, deny it. Say you got framed, man. Don't do that to the game. Go ahead, and it still hurts to hear that. Go ahead, sir.
Around the time I was selling drugs, I wasn't in it for a long time. I was only selling it for
Clearly.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Let's
It
move
was like-
past that. Let's move past that. What else you want me to know? We're past the drug stuff.
Yeah. So
Why did you all break up?
Because I wasn't at the time I wasn't working. We moved to Texas for me to so I can work with my uncle.
Good.
And at the time, me and my uncle, we started going through some things or whatever. So I ended up not working with him anymore. And it was with my felony, with me having a felony, it was kind of hard, like finding a job, like a good job. She'll go to work and she'll come home like and be like, "Oh, you didn't do anything." Like as far as me, like if I'm on a computer, like on.
Okay, so you
Craigslist.
all were falling out about your failure to live up to her standards.
Yeah, financial.
Okay, good enough. All right, what are you suing him for today? The rent and daycare.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm suing him for rent. We moved to Houston in June of 2015. I signed a 6-month lease. Obviously, I couldn't put him on the lease because he's a felon. So 4 days after we moved in, we sat down, we signed the contract. He agreed to pay half of the rent, which was $453, all the way up until December when the lease was over with. He paid June and July fine. In August, when he got into, confrontation or whatever it was with his uncle, he shorted me $153 for just the rent. And then in September, when we had our big argument and we broke up, he left and basically left me with the rent all the way up until December. So the total amount of unpaid rent is $1,965.
All right, and what daycare fees?
In June, also in June, we had a verbal agreement that he would pay $111 for our son's weekly tuition for daycare. In August, he shorted me a week because of what was going on, and then
He was working, obviously.
He was working, but he wasn't getting paid right. He had
got it.
issues.
Otherwise, he could sit there and watch that child. Go ahead.
All of October he missed. So in total, he owes me $555. I have a printout or
Sir,
a
what do you say to
breakdown.
this?
And I
The
also
rent-
have the contract.
The rent, yeah, I do owe her. I admit I owe her $153, but she kicked me out like the beginning of September. So why would
Why?
I pay?
I did not kick him out.
Because of the financial situation and us arguing. So she kicked
That's
me
your
out.
defense. She kicked you out.
Yeah, she kicked me out.
What about the daycare?
The daycare I couldn't pay because I wasn't working at the time.
But you agreed to?
Yeah, I agreed to pay it, but I wasn't working at the time to pay
No,
it. So.
but that means you still owe.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. What did you want?
I have proof because before
Proof of what?
that he had been threatening to leave.
Okay. let's
Even
see that.
before.
Let's see that.
Even before September. They're highlighted.
So, sir, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. Yeah. Got plenty of time to go to school, trade school, college, university, community college. Something. Have you gotten any skill or training yet?
Yes, I have.
What?
I have a couple. I have forklift and bricklaying. I have trades. I have a few trades.
But they're
Any
not
type-
certified.
Yeah, it's not certified, but
Okay, well, you need that because a certification of some type of skilled trade is transferable all around the country. In fact, some places that might hire you might be hiring you illegally or against union rules. So you certainly don't have many options.
Yeah.
Even if you have the talent, you need the certification. So I need you to go and do that. You gonna do it?
yes, sir, I will.
All right, so when you do that, you pay her all of her money because you say you're going to find a place and you're going to leave. You told her you were leaving, and that's why you left. She didn't put you out. I'm just going to leave. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll give you the money for the babysitter Friday, and I'm just going to leave. All right, judgment for the plaintiff. He did say he was leaving you, and you did not kick him out, and he agreed he owes for the babysitting. Good luck to both you guys. Congratulations again to you for taking care of your business. $2,520. All right, have a good day.
Hopefully we can co-parent for the sake of our child and get along, and hopefully Mr. Davon does do what the judge suggests and go get a trade or some type of certification. And, you know, maybe, who knows, if he steps up and becomes the man that I need him to be, then maybe we will be together. But right now, you know, we just need to focus on our child.
Yeah, I agree with the co-parenting, and I am going to get a trade. But yeah, we'll work it out as far as getting things situated and me being a better person.
Yeah, as long as you don't cheat on me anymore and do stupid stuff like blow off your finger with my gun.
I don't cheat.
Okay.
Plaintiff Bill Robbins was married to the defendant, and he claimed she was a pill popper and a crack addict who had him falsely arrested for assault. Bill says he raised the defendant's 18-year-old daughter as his own. But a month ago, the defendant told him he may not be her father, so he petitioned the court for a DNA test and is suing for emotional distress. Defendant Donna Robbins admits that she was a crack addict, but insists Bill used crack and meth with her. Donna believes Bill is still in love with her, but she refuses to rekindle their romance because he's verbally and mentally abusive. Donna admits to telling Bill he was not her daughter's father.
Sir, you're suing your ex-wife for $3,000 for emotional distress, and you've petitioned the court for a DNA test, and I suppose you want to receive a judgment if you are not the father?
Your Honor,
that's why you're here seeking $3,000?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, this is my ex-wife, Donna, and she's made my life a living hell.
How long were you all married?
I'm gonna say 5 years.
When did you meet her?
I'm gonna say 98.
Okay.
She was my best friend's girlfriend, and he's deceased, and that's how we got together, was talking about him.
Okay.
She's made my life a living hell.
When did it begin? Because you all have been together nearly 20 years.
Right, in 99, I worked 80 and 100 hours every day, every week.
You mean a week?
Every week, and I didn't know how she was. By the time I found out how she was, all right, she was on drugs bad, pill popping. She sold somebody a pill, and they died. And then she got on the crack.
What year did all this begin?
Well, it would have been the year.
How many years after meeting her did this start?
I didn't know how she was for the first year, Your Honor.
So a year later, you
Yes.
found out?
Yes.
All of that, how did you find out?
She had lost her Xanaxes, and she had called the sheriff, said, well, if you don't give me my medicine back, I'm going to call the sheriff to you. So I'm like, I didn't take your medicine. And I said, well, you go ahead and call the sheriff. I went outside waiting for the sheriff to get there. The sheriff came up, knocked on the door, and they come back and asked me, did you tear up the house? While I was out there waiting for the sheriff, she turned the kitchen table over and broke a bunch of stuff, and I went to jail. When I got out of jail...
She alleged you had hit her?
Yes, sir.
Physically abused her?
Yes, sir.
And that's why? Go ahead.
That's why I went to jail. And when I got to get out and come home, she found her Xanaxes in the windowsill behind the curtains where she had left them.
All right. So that's one big incident.
That's one big incident.
What else? How did you discover she was on crack?
She didn't get on the crack until after she had got busted.
He was doing it with me.
No,
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
She got now I got to get the story first. She got busted for Xanax later on?
No, sir.
All right, you said she didn't get on crack until she got busted.
She got when she got busted for selling the man the pill that killed him.
Xanax?
No.
What pill?
Methadone. He'd done 846 Xanaxes before he came to my house.
He had done Xanax.
Yes.
She didn't give it to him.
I wasn't there, Your Honor. I'm just going by what the coroner said.
Let's move on, sir. So how long did she serve in jail?
5 years.
All right, wow. And because the person died. All right. Let's see, ma'am, let me hear
Your
from
Honor, I want to say, I know part of that right there, it is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I have been clean, though, for now, 8 years now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And have you had many relapses, if any?
No, I have not had no relapses.
Good.
And the reason why that he knows about the drugs and stuff because he used to do them with me.
What did he do? What type of drugs did he do with you?
Crack and meth as well.
Is that true?
No, sir. Your Honor, I had to buy crack for her to get her to come home.
You never used it?
No, sir.
Why would you buy crack for her?
For her to come home and spend time with us, period.
So she wouldn't come home unless she had crack?
Right.
Okay, sir.
I took her to rehab twice, Your
All
Honor.
right, but when she came home and was using the crack, you didn't see her anyway. She was in the room smoking. Or in the bathroom smoking. So you really didn't see her. Come on home. We'll get you some crack so we can spend time with you. You ain't spent no time. How you going to spend time with a crackhead and you give him some crack? You're not going to spend time with a crackhead if you give him some crack unless you're smoking it with him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unless you're smoking it with him.
Thank
That's the only way you're going to spend
That's
time.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead, ma'am. So you say he was smoking crack with you.
Right. And, all this boils down to, that he is still in love with me. And, I want to go on because he is poison. And,
How so?
Because of the verbal abuse and mental abuse.
Okay. All right. And he says it's been 19 years of living hell. Would you say you started about that time? Using drugs and giving him hell?
I was clean, at first. And then after about 3 years into, in the relationship, he's the one who got me.
In the drugs? All right, but nonetheless, it happened 3 years into the relationship.
Right.
All right,
and,
so you were only living hell for 16 years, I believe.
Right, because I went to prison for 5 years.
Okay. Well, he's trying to put 3 more on you, and I'm not going to let him do
I know.
It was 16, sir. Go ahead. What makes you think the child, it might be a question?
Your Honor, I have raised her before, during, and after. I have put her first. I have made sure she had new shoes, clothes, food, the lights on. I have put my kids first. I have raised them. I changed all of her diapers.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's
She was that, your wife was that dysfunctional?
Yes, that's right.
So why now, after changing diapers, providing all this support, doing all these things, are you now saying she might not be my daughter? Well, I'm not sure that she's my daughter.
She said that there's a 50-50 chance that she's not.
When did she tell you that?
A month ago.
How did that come up?
I had dropped my younger daughter off over there, and whenever she got I picked her up. She said, "Daddy, Mama introduced me to a man," and she said that was my real daddy.
Your daughter told you that?
My daughter told me that, and I told her that I have a DNA on her, and that I know that I'm her dad, but that I don't have a DNA on Caitlin.
That's interesting. Has this ever come up before? In the past year?
It came up before. She had there was 3 women that she went to court. She had took their money and took their money that were in the house from her, and then kicked them out. And then she didn't want me to go to court.
That's a crackish move, so yeah.
She didn't want me to be in the court. After court, the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter come and told me that she was seen out with another man.
Hearsay.
How old is your daughter?
She's 18.
Okay, so that was 18 years ago when they told you.
Right, and I questioned it 18 years ago, and she swore up and down that there wasn't no chance that was a lie.
Why didn't you make her take the test then? Or you just
I tried to get them to take the test then whenever we did the
And he signed the birth
first one.
certificate.
So man,
Your Honor.
why is he doing this today?
Yes, he's an idiot, Your Honor.
Did you take your daughter around a man and tell her that man was her father?
I did not. He's done smoked too much crack.
Your Honor, she's got me fired.
When?
This would have been, I would say, 2002 to 2002.
Sir. We're not going to go over what you and your wife went through in the early 2000s. All right, ma'am. He has never told you that he was told that the child might not be his.
No. We got into this verbal statement, and I did say that Caitlin is not his kid.
You told him that?
Yes, I did
Why?
tell him that.
So
Because
there is
I
a
want him
question.
to leave me alone, no, because, I had just told him that, but I know for a fact
you would
that
destroy your daughter to get him to stop calling you? Is that what you're saying? You would
Yes,
destroy your
no.
daughter's life?
No.
Yeah, you're still on crack.
no,
You're
I'm not
definitely on crack.
No.
If you would tell somebody this, which ultimately you're telling your daughter
I
that
can
this
take it
might
like
not
this.
be your dad,
and that it might not.
okay. And so your daughter says, oh my goodness, after 18 years, my mother is telling me it might not. Why are you grinning? This isn't funny what you've done to your daughter. All of a sudden, my mother is saying that this might not be my dad. Destroying her. That's what you've done.
Can I hug her?
In addition to your crack use over the years, which ultimately caused her pain and hardship. You should be ashamed of yourself. Don't look back, look at me. You didn't care when you were destroying her with this nonsense about him not being the father, intentionally lying. Intentionally lying. You intentionally lied over an argument, and that resulted in the destruction of your daughter. Do you see how she's crying like right now? I promise you this isn't the first time she's cried about this.
Too much stress. Oh, this has been too much.
I don't know what else to say to you. I'm trying to think of something else to say to you.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
We have another daughter. I went to jail several times from just trying, because I knew she didn't go 5 minutes without taking a large dose of drugs, that I knew that the child wasn't going to be right. And the sheriff department would come out and they would throw me on the ground and they would carry me to jail. And I would tell them, look, I just want her to stop taking all the stuff that she's taking so that the baby will have a chance. And I have to deal with her every day.
Well, leave me alone.
I'm not
Go on
bothering
with
you.
your
I don't
life.
want you around. She tried to have me put in jail for 25 years. The only thing that saved me was that I was at the secretary of the district attorney's house, and I couldn't have done. I went and beat her up like she said that I did.
Do you believe she's been in recovery for 8 years?
I don't believe she's messed with the crack or anything. But I know that I have been through a living hell. I've been in counseling and therapy all summer with my other daughter. Kaylin has helped me with the counseling and therapy with the other daughter. It's been horrible. I mean, I've had everything from sugar put in my gas tank to, like I say, I have done everything. I put these kids first. I made sure that they got everything that they needed. I went without. She doesn't help. You know?
Let's get the results.
Okay. I am a good dad. I have tried my best to protect them from her. And it has not been easy.
You know, it hasn't been in vain. She's your daughter. Good luck. Dismiss their money.
I told you don't know.
I just want to be a family, and I know they're not on drugs.
Donna, I just want you to leave me alone. I haven't kept you from keeping, from seeing the kids, and you just please let me alone. And
I just want to go on with my life.
I will go on with just leave me alone.
Well, fine.
Plaintiff Kimberly Pulvermacher says after she and the defendant got engaged and moved in together, they both became hooked on OxyContin. Kimberly's suing her ex-fiancé for breach of contract. Defendant Mark Winters says he and Kimberly broke up after she cheated on him, and she ended up using heroin, got pregnant, and lost custody of her child due to the drugs. Mark insists Kimberly's suing for more than he owes.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, ma'am, you're suing your ex-fiancé for $152 for a breach of contract.
I am.
Start with you.
I met the defendant in 2002. We eventually got engaged and we had a house together. So I was not a saint prior to meeting Mark, but the fact that his best friend was a drug dealer did not help our relationship.
You were getting high on his supply?
We were dabbling in drugs, particularly OxyContins.
You can dabble in that, huh? Not get hooked?
It was bad.
Y'all the first.
Oh, I was
then.
hooked, yes.
Oh, well, it wasn't dabbling. You were a dope fiend.
Yes. I was hooked on OxyContins.
Okay, there
for
you
2
go.
years.
Are you in recovery?
I'm clean, yes.
Yeah, well, then you know how to answer these questions.
Since
you're supposed to say, yes, I was addicted,
yes,
or
I
am an addict, and I'm in recovery. You over there hemming and hawing, talking about you dabble. Who you think you're talking to? You can't dabble in OxyContin, heroin, crack, meth, no dabble. That's dope fiend. Go ahead.
In 2004 is when I decided to get clean.
Good.
Mark and I had broken up at that point, and I was entered into a drug rehab facility. Good. And as of January of 2005, I've been clean from OxyContin.
Good. That's clean. How did you maintain your sobriety? Going to NA? Did you go to NA, or you were?
I had been. It didn't happen the very first time I went to rehab. I've been in and out of rehab about 6 or 7 times.
How many times did you go to NA immediately after rehab?
I was court ordered at one point to go to NA.
When did you go on your own to NA?
In May of 2005.
And that's when you kicked it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I kicked it actually before in January.
But my point is, it wasn't until NA that it worked permanently, right? How many days did you go a week?
3 days a week.
All right. So it takes that, wouldn't you agree?
Right.
To maintain, because folks come in here, they don't think
It's
that.
a lifestyle
They think they get out of rehab and that they're fresh and they don't have anything to worry about. Next thing you do, all they fresh is with a good high, good new high. That's the only thing fresh. Right. So NA, everybody, if you're trying to overcome these opioids, any of these other heavily addictive drugs, you have to follow up that rehab with NA classes. I've seen 1,000. I've put people in rehab. One very, very close individual to me, I put him in rehab 7 times. Wow. Before it worked. Others I know of 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Typically it was crack that flooded the cities in the 80s and 90s. So let me hear from you, sir. Give me some background.
Like she said, we were engaged back then. We were using OxyContins. She did not break up with me for that reason. We actually broke up because she cheated on me with a bouncer at the local bar, who she then ended up doing heroin and stuff with, got pregnant, had the baby prematurely.
She said she left you to get off OxyContin, and you saying, yeah, let her get off OxyContin and go to heroin.
Correct. She ended up losing the baby.
Can I ask?
Let him finish first. Go ahead.
She lost the baby to the state because she was on heroin when she was pregnant.
What year?
I think that was 2004.
Okay, we know she was in her addiction then.
All of these, the gist of it is correct, but like the heroin and the state, that's not.
You didn't go to heroin?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I don't know where he's getting this from.
All right, go ahead. So you say she lost the child, 2004.
Yeah, so that's why we broke up. Years went by, we didn't have any contact with each other. Last year, I contacted her through a friend, and we started dating again.
What happened there?
We weren't seeing each other very often.
What did you all break up for? Why did you break up?
Over $150 some, basically.
Okay, let me hear from you, ma'am, on the actual debt.
I was super excited to see him again after so long. It was a total of 13 years at that point, and we hadn't seen each other at all. So I was super excited, and I thought that he would have progressed as a human being, but he actually, he regressed horribly.
In what way?
He has zero money to his name. He has 3 DUIs with no driver's license and lives with his mom. And his mom hates me so bad that when I go pick him up, I have to park at the corner, and he has to like scurry out.
Why does she dislike you that much?
She can't know that he's with me.
Why?
Because he's apparently 16 years old again. I don't know.
It's all right. How did he come to owe you $152?
The whole entire.
You were super excited again today to come see him.
I was not.
$152.
I was not excited to be here.
Flying across the country. She wanted to see you, Doc. Go ahead. How does he owe you?
He wanted to come here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, in the 10 months, I paid for everything. Hotel, money, food, gasoline, everything.
This most recent time frame.
This recent time, since July of 2017. I never asked him or wanted the money back for anything. I loved this man at one point.
So what happened then? You want it today?
I lost my job April 16th of this year. So I knew that I had money budgeted until unemployment kicked in. We hung out May 19th. I said, okay, if we're gonna go up to Fremont where his house is and then go out drinking at the bar, you have to pay me back. Whether we both spent the money or not, you had to pay me back because I don't have enough money. Okay, I'll pay you back. That's what we agreed to, $84. So he is supposed to pay me back May 25th. May 21st, he calls me, I'm stuck on the side of the road. He's a mechanic, and he's always stuck on the side of the road. He's always on the road. Can you wire me money? Okay.
Mechanic.
My daughter's in her pajamas. It's a school night. Okay, let's go. I'll wire you $60 plus an $8 fee. That brings it to $152.
Sir, what do you say to this?
Well, like she said, I stay at my mom's a lot. It's closer to where I work. The weekend that this $80 occurred, we were at my house, which is in Fremont, so it's not like I'm a bum staying with my parents. That night we went out. I wanted to stay at home because I'm only there on the weekends. She's like, I want to go to the bar. I'm like, I have no money on me. We can just stay here. I got wine, whatever. We can just sit and hang out here. We go to the bar. We order drink for drink, split a pizza, play darts together. After that, my car did break down. She wired me money. Also during that time, I did an oil change on her car, which was like $85 oil change.
Which he stole from his employer.
I did not. I have receipts here.
He stole the parts.
So I feel that I owe her $25 due to that.
The other money was what?
Well, I mean, once you deduct the oil change from, I figure she should be.
Was that part of the agreement?
There was.
It was not.
You have to go by an agreement. You can't offset debts based on your own sense of justice or sense of fairness. You have to go with an agreement. If there was no agreement to deduct that, then it's not to be deducted.
In that case, I could deduct all my kindness for the past 10 months and you would still be in debt.
Sir, is that true?
I told her the day.
She's been taking care of you for 9 months. All this old stuttering. Has she or not? You over here talking so big, my house, my home. She says you stay with your mother because you're broke. And she says now you owe her $152. And you say you only owe her $25 because of some agreement to deduct an oil change that you did one of the times you weren't on the side of the road yourself, mechanic, as a mechanic. How do you end up on the side of the road as a mechanic all the time, not just once?
I had a flat tire.
How about the next time?
There's never buy a mechanic's car.
All right. I'm going to grant her $152. You don't have a legal defense. You want to offset the debt based on what you believe she has spent. You had some evidence as well. Maybe
I
that'll
did.
help buttress this judgment.
This is just the text messages, him saying that he agreed to the dollar amount.
Between both totals, I wouldn't be sticky about it, but I have to be right now. It's $152.
I'm sorry.
Your response was really only $25 because why did you hand me this? You were winning.
Oh no,
You said you only
I'm
have to
good.
pay me $25. Just kidding. That was good day.
Just hope I don't ever have to see her again.
It was worth it for $152. You're a bum.